Hey everyone, I hope you guys are enjoying the snow today. With it being this gorgeous snowy day we have out, we don't have too many days anymore that are so filled with snow. I wanted to do a little art activity outside. The art studio is closed today, but we're really excited to, again, try to give you another art opportunity. This is probably something you've seen before, and just because you've seen it before, it doesn't make it any less fun to do. So I'm gonna paint in the snow actually. And when we paint outside, when we take anything outside, we wanna be really conscious that what we're doing isn't leaving a negative impact on our environment at all. So all the things that I'm gonna use today are gonna be hopefully things that you can find recycled or that again aren't gonna leave residue. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so what you can see now here is I have my supplies out and ready to go. So I have got my plastic wrap, and plastic wrap again isn't something that's great for our environment, but if we're using just a little bit of it, I'd love it if you could recycle it too. If maybe you have some leftovers, you can clean that off and use it. You can also use the caps of the water bottles, but that's a little harder to poke a hole in. You'd probably need a power tool to do that. So I have just got my plastic wrap here. And any plastic wrap is going to work really well for this little fun project. And I've just got some small little sheets of the plastic wrap with the cellophane. You're also going to want a mixing cup. Something with the spout is going to work best because it's going to make it a lot easier to pour the water and your paint back into the water bottle, and just make sure we're definitely going to do that over the sink. I also have for myself here some toothpicks. Now this is going to be great for again poking a single hole in the top. I can always add more later. And I've got my 3 water bottles here. These are just old water bottles that we had. I filled them back up again with water, so that way I know how much liquid is going to be within this. A softer plastic water bottle. Again, while I do advocate use glass as much as possible and reusable, for this project, the squishier the plastic is, the easier it's going to be for you to take it outside and paint. You'll also need a spoon or something to take out your cornstarch, which is another ingredient, and you're also going to need to mix it up. We also have for ourselves rubber bands here. These can be any old rubber bands that you have got. And the final thing that we need to use is our food coloring. This is what's going to be making the paint out in the snow. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take one of the water bottles. I'm going to take the lid off. You're going to want to keep the lid. If you don't use all the paint inside of it, you can take off the rubber band and the cellophane and you can use that later. And I'm just going to pour the water bottle right into my mixing cup here. The next thing I want to do is add a nice healthy scoop of the cornstarch. You don't need too much. You can always add more. You can see that. Something right like that is going to be good. I'm going to put it into the water first, and I'm going to mix it all up. Really mix it. You want to try to get any chunks out of there if the cornstarch just get like a little chunky at all. This is going to make the water a little thicker, a little easier to paint. And you can see now, instead of it being that clear watercolor or that the clearness of water, whatever you would call it, we have this nice kind of milky color, which is what the cornstarch has made it. So I've got my water in there and a nice healthy scoop of that cornstarch. And the next thing that I'm going to do, and the most fun part that I'm going to do, is I get to add some of my food coloring. So you can mix and have fun if you want. Our 3 primary colors are blue and red and yellow. Blue and red make purple, red and yellow make orange, and of course our last combination, yellow and blue, does make green. So if you only are limited to maybe 3 or 4 colors from your food dye box, don't feel restricted. You can always mix and make your own. I love the color blue. It's one of my favorite colors, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. Now food coloring is pretty potent, so you don't need too much. I'm going to start with maybe 3 or 4 drops. I'm going to cap that just to make sure, and you can already see this color is changing to blue. Now, if that is not as dark as I'd like, which I like this color, I think it's pretty, but if you want to make it darker, you can always go ahead and add, you can add some more food coloring to it. So the next step, this is I can be a little clumsy, so you gotta be careful with this one. But what you wanna do is over your sink, which my sink is right over here, and using this spout, I'm gonna go ahead and pour the paint back into the bottle. Again, all I used to make the paint was just water and cornstarch and a little bit of food coloring. And since I had poured the water directly out of the water bottle, I know I'm gonna have the right amount and it's not gonna overflow at all. So there you go, you can see that pretty blue color. And the last step that we're gonna do is we have to make a little cap for it. So please be careful when you do this. We wanna avoid spills and stuff. But you're gonna go ahead and take that cellophane, take that plastic wrap, and you're gonna fold it up. So once I've got that folded up, I'd recommend you do this over your sink or near a sink. I'm gonna hold that nice and tight around the top, making a new lid for that. And then grabbing one of my rubber bands, I'm gonna rubber band this on. You wanna make sure this is really nice and tight, and we're really getting a nice tight seal on here. That way it's not going to leak out later. And then the last thing that I'm gonna do for my blue is I'm gonna take a toothpick and I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna poke one hole right in the top. I can always add more later, but I don't wanna add too much. I'm gonna start a little slow. So there is my blue. I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing with red and yellow now, and then we're gonna go outside and we're gonna paint in the snow. So I wanna speed up this video while I do these next two colors for you. All right, so there you go. You can see that I now have my blue, and I have my red, and I have my yellow. I love my primary colors, so I want to stick with them. Be careful when you are carrying them outside. You don't want to squeeze too hard. Remember, there is a hole in that plastic wrap in the top, and the liquid can come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my mom. We're gonna get all bundled up, and then we're gonna go outside, and of course, Buddy will be there too. And we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna do a little painting in the snow. So we're gonna get on our gear, and I'll see you soon. All right, hi everyone, we're here. We've got our paints, me and my mom. So
playing snow.
We're gonna just have some fun painting. These probably are gonna leak, these tops. They're not perfectly sealed, so we do have on old gloves and not our very best clothes and shoes, just in case the food dye does stain our clothes. Also, we're doing it in an area of our yard that just has mulch underneath when there's not snow. Don't do it on a deck or, you know, on an area that maybe you wouldn't want to get paint on. So just be careful of the part of the yard that you do select, that it's not like the very best part. So, all right, we're gonna give this a go.
Here we go.
All right, so that was a lot of fun. It's messy for sure. You can see all of that plastic wrap on our red, and our yellow one is now dirty. There's lots of like little dribbles and stuff, so it's definitely not a perfect science, but it was still really fun.
It was fun.
So I'm gonna show you a close-up now of what we did. So here you can see our painting. We did some water, some fish, a little canoe, the sun. We were inspired by the lake right here. And we decided after we painted our little painting, we were gonna get real crazy. So we came back here and we painted the tree. So we'll let you guys know if our tree turns red and blue and yellow in the springtime, but we think it looks really good. So it was really fun. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, that was a lot of fun. Sorry, we're like cracking up. That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
So keep in mind it's messy.
Yes.
And if you decide to do this too, we'd love to see what you did. So go ahead and tag at the Art Studio in the Lakes on Instagram and let us give you comments, see what you're working on, whether you make a snowman or a tree fort, or if you do a little snow painting like we have here.
Have fun. And if you have a dog that comes into the picture, Buddy,
Buddy, come here.
come here, Bud. Buddy. No, he's, oh,
Come here.
Buddy.
Come here.
Come here.
Come here. There you go. He's off on a little adventure. All right, well, we're gonna go inside and get warm while Buddy plays out in the snow. So enjoy the snow day, enjoy the snow. And we'll see you guys soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.